Okay, so this lab is basically to ingest the data into the cloud using the Google Cloud functions. Okay, so in the layman term, what we have to do is like we have to store some data into the Google Cloud, whether it is a Google Cloud storage bucket or a big table or in the BigQuery, but using the cloud functions. So how we will do this, or what all step we will do this? So these are the list of the steps which we will perform as part of this lab. So first we will write a simple Python code function, right, which will fetch the data from some website. So you can write your own Python code using the scrapper tool, your beautiful scrap or scrappy module, any function which will normally download the data from the scrap the data from the website, right? So this code is available to us as part of our lab, right? Then what will the next step is, right? Okay, we have now the Python code available which will fetch the data from the some website. So first we will manually run this Python code just to test whether the code which is we have write or which is available to us, whether it is correct or not, whether it is working fine or not. So we will just run the Python code manually just to cross verify whether the Python code is correct or not, or is there any error, right? So what this will Python code do is it will fetch the data from some website and it will store the data into some Google Cloud storage bucket, right? So as this code will store the data into the Google Cloud storage bucket, so before this, even before running the Python code, we need to create the Google Cloud storage bucket as well. So Google Cloud storage bucket should be created, right? Okay, so till now what we did is like we have some Python code which will fetch the data in normal Python code, some function only, like def some function name, and then it will do some like a request request.get and some URL of the website, and it will parse the data. Then we will run the Python code manually on the our virtual machine just to cross verify normally with the normal command like python 3 and the file name.py. Okay, then we will cross verify whether this Python code is storing the data into the Google Cloud storage bucket or not, right? Because this Python code will has some function as well which will store the data into the Google Cloud storage bucket. Okay, but our intention is to not do all this manually. Our intention is to using the cloud functions. So cloud function is basically the Google Cloud services only, but which is a serverless function. So what do you mean by serverless function? So here if we have to run the Python code, we need some server. The server means some machine like which we need, but as part of the cloud function it is the serverless. So we don't need to create some virtual machine or to activate any cloud shell, right? So what we will do is we will create a Google Cloud function, and we will assign that function to this Python code, and we will deploy the Google Cloud function, right? Now the function is getting created, but we need to trigger this function, and as per this lab the requirement is to run this function every minute. So we have to create some cron job. So we have one more facility in the Google, that is a Google Cloud Scheduler. So what it will do is it will automatically first we will create a Google Cloud Scheduler, and there are some settings. We will in those settings we will mention okay what we have to trigger. We will mention okay it should trigger the Google Cloud function. So whatever the frequency we will provide into the Google Cloud Scheduler, it will trigger the Google Cloud function automatically. So these are the some basic overview, but let's perform. Okay, these are the overview. Let me start the lab first. copy the password, open the Google console, accept. I agree on terms and condition. Okay, first let me show you everything is like we are doing from the scratch. If I click on the cloud functions, right, you could see we don't have any cloud function. If I click on the cloud storage, you will see we don't have any cloud storage. And if we see, we don't have any cloud function available, right, and we don't have any bucket available. So we will do everything from the scratch. And Google Cloud Scheduler as well. Where it is? Cloud Scheduler. Where it is? Cloud Scheduler. Monitoring, logging, trace. Is it tools? This is the Cloud Scheduler. Okay, so as of now we don't have any scheduler, right? Okay, so it means we will do everything from. So our objective is we will create a Python function which will automatically fetch the data from some website, right? We will convert, which will fetch the data from the website, and also it will store the data into the Google Cloud Storage. Convert the Python code to run as a cloud function. Then we will use this cloud function to ingest the data, and we will use the Google Cloud Scheduler facility to regularly trigger this cloud function. And these are some basic setup requirement, like how to log in. Okay, first 1 minute. Okay, first thing is that we should have the cloud. We have to write the Python code, right? So as I told you, like Python code is available, and it is available in some Git repository. So we will first clone the Git repository. Okay, so first we will activate the Cloud Shell, and we will issue a normal command, that is a git clone, to clone the Git repository in which our Python code is available to us. Right. So clone the repository. So we have the repository available. A normal command only, a very basic git command, git clone, and then the repository name. 1 minute. Before issue the command, let me show you ls. So nothing is available, just a readme file only available. Okay, git clone. It has cloned the repository. If you do ls, one folder is getting created, right? Data science on GCP. Clear ls. So it has so many folders within the this folder. Let me show you: cd, data science, and ls. So many folder available. So in which folder we have the Python code available? So our Python code is available in the 0 to ingest. cd 0 to ingest. So ls. So okay, it has also some sh file and some folder name. So where we have to go further. change to the source code directory. Okay, now we are in the source code directory, but where the Python code is available? Download.sh, cd monthly update ls. Yeah, so here we could see the Python code is available. Let me open into some editor. Data science 0 to ingest monthly update, open. Okay, so here we have the main.py file. So these are the Python code available. Just a logging module, it will do some logging from Flask, import escape. If you don't know like what is the escape function, you can like watch my video what the escape function did. So here they are using some escape function. So it is the ingest flight, so they are importing the functions from the ingest flight. So the main thing is this ingest flights. So in the ingest flight, so they are using the storage because they want to store the data into the Google Cloud storage. So normally just they like open the URL and they are fetching the data. See, we have the download function, so this is the URL, right? So they are verifying the data, they are logging the data, saving the data into the CSV file, reading the data, transforming the data, remove the some quotes, then they are uploading the data. See, they are uploading into the cloud storage bucket like GS, the bucket name. Okay, so basically we have the Python code available with us. Let me close this. Okay, so now we have to set some variable. Why we are like setting this variable? If you open this code now, which I just opened, so in there like some variable name are used, like what is the project name. So project name is the project ID. What is the bucket name, in which bucket we need to store, what is the region name. Authorize. Okay, now we have to create the bucket. So let me create the bucket. So bucket is created. If we refresh this, we will see, definitely see the bucket name. So say here the bucket is getting created. So as of now it should be empty, so no data is there. So first task is completed. So first task is basically just to like issue the git clone command to get the Python code to create the bucket, that is to perform some prerequisites. Why it is taking, yeah, done. Now we need to actually, now we have the Python code is available. Now we have the bucket available. Now we will test the Python code. So in the monthly update folder, so to test the Python code locally, first we will create the virtual environment, and then we will install all the requirements, like we need the Flask module and everything. So we will activate the virtual environment, then we will install the, so let's do present working directory. Yeah, we are on the monthly update directory only. So we will create the virtual environment. Okay, virtual environment is getting created. We will activate the virtual environment. Virtual environment is activated. We will install the requirements. Because first we will try manually whether the Python code is giving any error or not. So it install the request module which is required. It also maybe store the Flask module. Yeah, this is the Flask module. It install. Clear. Okay, now we will try to download the data manually. So normally the Python command, Python and the file name, and here we are giving the variables name which is required into the code, like bucket name, for which year, for which month the data is required. So here if you notice, we give the year 2050. So it trying to requesting data for 2050. So it say that extracted time received a file from the BTS has only header and no content. So it has no content because 2050 data is not available because it is the 2050 year, and right now we are in the 2021. So let's try for the 2015. We are right now we are only running the Python code manually, but our intention is to execute the same code using the cloud function, and also we will trigger the cloud function using the Google Cloud Scheduler. But before that we are just testing it manually. So it is extracting the data, it is uploading the data into the bucket. So let's see whether it has stored the data or not. Let me refresh it. Yeah, so it created the flights folder, raw folder, and it has stored the 2015-01.csv file. So data is getting stored into our cloud storage bucket. It means our Python code is perfectly working fine. So manually testing is completed. Now here is the main task. We have to create a Python cloud function, and instead of issuing this manual command every time Python file name, we will create a cloud function. So as of now we don't have any cloud function, right? So either we can create the cloud function from the GUI from the console, or either we can create a cloud function using the command line. So here they are issuing some OpenSSL command. So OpenSSL command is basically they said that the when we create the cloud function, so it provide us some URL. So anyone can access the URL. So they are just securing the particular URL using the OpenSSL command. So OpenSSL is basically the Linux command which generates some token. So whatever they told, let's issue those command. Yeah, the command is getting issued. What actually they did is they they generated the token, and they inserted the token into the main.py file using the SED editor. SED means stream editor. Now they are creating a cloud function, just giving the function name, not actually creating it. So the function name is like ingest flights underscore the token name. So function name is getting created. It's only the function name, but actually it has not created the actual function. If I refresh it, we could see there is no function. Yeah, no function, right? So when we deploy the function, so using the command gcloud alpha function deploy, then function name, right? And the cloud function, to trigger the cloud function, we have to set some trigger, and we have to tell okay, the function name is basically which code we are triggering using this function, whether we are triggering the Python code or some other code, and what is the entry point. Entry point is ingest flights. So let's deploy the cloud function. Once this will be completed, we will see the cloud function created for us, and one public URL is available for us. So it is deploying the cloud function. It may take for up to 2 minutes. So once the cloud function is created, so first we will test the cloud function manually, then we will test using the cloud scheduler. Similarly, when we have the Python code, so first we test the Python code manually, just to cross verify whether the Python code is correct or not. So now we have created the cloud function, so first we will test the cloud function manually, whether the cloud function is running or not. If it is running, then we will schedule it. We will trigger it using the Google Cloud Scheduler. Okay, it is still deploying. Let me refresh the screen just to see whether it is getting created or not. Yeah, see, it is now created, and the name is the same name which we have given, ingest flight and some token name, and it is a Python code Python 3.7, and executed function is ingest flights, and it is a HTTP trigger. So it will give us some URL, and if we want to trigger this function, we have to trigger that particular HTTP URL. Just wait for a few minutes. It will give us the URL in this form, the region, project name, the cloud function, and function name. Then we will issue the we will trigger the particular URL manually. So just using the curl command, curl, and give the URL and the data, because the function need some token name. It also need for which month, for which year you want to download the data, and the bucket name, in which bucket you want to. So everything we will pass as a post request, and it will download the data for us. Yeah, so the function deployed. So if we open this, right, and nothing is there. If we go to the details tab, so nothing in the detail tab. In the source tab, so in the source tab we have the entry point of ingest flight, and this is the Python code. So we can download our code here. Nothing in the variable, and it triggers. See, it will give us some URL to us. So this URL we have to trigger, like HTTPS, the region name US Central 1, the project ID name, .cloud functions .net, and the function name. So it gives us some unique URL. So nothing is in the permission, nothing in the log as of now. Testing. So we can test the function directly from here. If we trigger the like a test function, it will like triggered. But as per the lab, we will do it from from the command line. So in the command line, we have to like trigger the echo command. So first we will like create a variable URL. Then we will create some JSON format data. Now we will issue the curl command. So basically it is like triggering the cloud function, and the cloud function is triggering the our Python code, and the Python code is downloading the data from the website, and it will store the data into the cloud storage bucket. So this time we are issuing for 2015 year and 03 month, that is the March month. So once it will get completed, we will see whether why it is taking so much time. Okay, the request will take about a minute to complete. Yeah, request completed. We can just open this our bucket and the flights tab, row tab. Now we will see we have the one more file, that is the 2015-03. So basically both the function is doing the same thing. Whether we run the Python code manually, it will do the same thing. Whether we will run the Python code using the cloud functions, it will do the same thing. But as per this lab, our intention is to like this is the scenario given to us. You have to run the Python code, but you have to run the Python code as a serverless. So you will not create a virtual machine. You should not activate the cloud shell. So nothing like that. You have to trigger the Python code as a serverless. So serverless means we have to use the cloud function. Okay, so we have issued this command gsutil ls command to see whether the data is available or not. So we have the two files available, though we have like check using the web UI as well. Okay, check my progress. So this is also completed. Now, so till now, if we have to trigger the function, we are manually triggering it, but our intention is as soon as the data is available on the website, it automatically download it, right? So we have to trigger the function. We have to schedule the function, like maybe like it every minute or every hour, or like 8th of every month at 10 a.m. right? So let's suppose we want every month, 8th of every month at 10 a.m. the function should trigger automatically. So we need to create some cron job. So for the cron job facility, we have the one service, that is the Google Cloud Scheduler. So as of now, we don't have any scheduler here. So right, so let's create the scheduler. In order to create the scheduler, you must enable App Engine. So scheduler is dependent upon some App Engine service. So first we need to create a App Engine. It will create a App Engine, or it will just let me check 1 minute. App Engine, let me open to new tab so that we can check. Okay, nothing is there as of now. So let me issue this command. Creating an App Engine application. Okay, let me refresh it. Yeah, your app engine application has been created. See, because the Google Cloud Scheduler is like dependent upon that. Now we have to create a like a pub/sub topic, like topic and the subscription. These are required by the Cloud Scheduler. Gcloud pub/sub topics. Topic is created. Subscription we are getting created. Let me show you that as well. Note this. Where is pub/sub? Here we have the pub/sub. Open in link into new tab. So see, crown topic is getting created. So definitely we have the subscription as well created. Yeah, crown subscription always also created. Now create the Cloud Scheduler. Why we create this like crown topic app engine? Because like these two are not dependent upon the like Cloud Scheduler is dependent upon these two things. So let me clear the screen. Enter. So Gcloud beta scheduler. So command completed. Let me refresh the screen to see whether it get created or not. See, it get created, right? And you can see the frequencies is star like similarly like 1 minute. Let me view. Can't we open this? Okay, we can like run now directly. So here if you see, we created the Cloud Scheduler. We set the frequency when the scheduler has to be run, and what the scheduler has to do, we set the URL, and URL is our cloud function, right? So these three things basically we are the main things, like the schedule frequency, like 10 AM. I'm not sure like what is the star. So basically it's maybe hour, month, date, time, second, something like that only. And we provided the URL, we provided the max duration, max time, we said like and the other normal things. Okay, now if you are asked to enable the Cloud Scheduler, yes, okay, now we can run our Cloud Scheduler. Just click on run now. So it is running. Is it running or not? Okay, it will run at frequency is this only. So will it run at do I need to change the frequency? 1 minute. Okay, if the job status does not change to success after a few minutes, click run now to try again. Yeah, result is success. So let cross verify. Let me refresh it. Yeah, we could see the one more file now. So all the three things we done. First file created, we have the Python code. We will normally like run our Python code, and it will like download the data and it will store the data. Second thing is, rather than manually running the Python code, we run the Python code using the cloud functions. So we created the cloud function, and we trigger the cloud function using the like curl command, because the cloud function gave us some URL. So we will just like issue the curl command, right? And the third thing is, rather than directly triggering the cloud function, so we will create a schedule job, that is the Google Cloud Scheduler, and that scheduler at the back end, it will trigger the cloud function. So this the third file is getting created by that. Okay, so yeah, check my progress. Yeah, completed. So some questions here. A cloud function, a compute platform for deploying containerized application, a software as a service, a serverless execution. Which Google Cloud Service used to schedule? So that is the Google Cloud Scheduler. Yeah, so that is the end of the lab. Let's end it. Okay.